I want to talk about your club now, Michael Lahoud. How much or how hopeful are you regarding the Red Devils? Look, Erik ten Hag, to me, and I think we've talked about this already, there's no doubt he's a great tactician, a great manager. There's no doubt you've already seen hints of what he can offer from a strategic perspective, with this Manchester United side. Villa played United in Australia, and I was very impressed at just how, the collective unity, the way that they played off the ball. Jadon Sancho looked fresh. Anthony Martial looked like a totally different player. So it's looking good. However, there's the Cristiano Ronaldo issue, of course, as well. And, as we're taping, the news coming out of how when they played the friendly against Rayo Vallecano, he left at halftime after he was being socked off. It wasn't just him, apparently Diogo Dalot as well, although he wasn't playing that day. But apparently, players are leaving at halftime, Michael Lahoud. What the hell's going on? Can Erik ten Hag change this? Because I thought Erik ten Hag was going to completely change everything, including the narrative and the identity of this club. What is happening? How are you feeling about Manchester United?
There's been more drama with this club than Dawson Creek had across its umpteenth seasons, and I love Dawson Creek.
Reference. I
love Dawson Creek.
I can't believe you. I love Dawson Creek too. I just can't believe you. I love it. Well done, Mike.
I had to because I had to go back to something that made me feel good.
Wait, so that means Erik ten Hag is Joey then, right?
Well, it has been just a drama-filled summer. Just when you think that, okay, Edison Cavani, Paul Pogba, Jesse Lingard, you got rid of so many players. You still have Phil Jones. We're not even going to touch him. We're going to say that for a different podcast. This issue, it's last season still bleeding. The issues of last season still bleeding into this summer window, and hopefully not this season. Cristiano Ronaldo is now becoming a problem and not a solution. One of the things he's heralded for is his professionalism, his impact in the dressing room when he's committed. When you do things like that, I don't care if it's preseason, you definitely don't do that. You're impacting younger players, and you're sending a message that it's okay to be bigger than the manager. Some of the things that he said in the media, whether they're true or not, just he seems disgruntled. He seems like a player who he's a world superstar, but he's having a negative impact in the locker room, which is before a season. If that's starting to happen, that's a microcosm for disaster. And Erik ten Hag, this is where he's going to make his money. Are you going to have the mettle and the guts to stand up to Cristiano Ronaldo before the season starts? And if you're Erik ten Hag, do you have the guts to go to the board and say, let's get this guy out of here? It's becoming more of a trouble than it's actually being of a helpful resource. Now on the field, which is what I want to really focus on, because Ronaldo is giving me a headache, and these dreads are getting grayer. You can't see them, but they're getting a little bit grayer with him in the club. I love what you said about Martial, Rashford, and Jadon Sancho. Martial and Jadon Sancho and Bruno Fernandes, they are the focal point of this team. Get Ronaldo out, make them the focal point. A Bruno Fernandes who's now...
They're like Pacey in Dawson's Creek. That really, he should have been the focal point as opposed to Dawson, right? Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, maybe we should bring Dawson's Creek back and just refilm. Maybe put Ronaldo in on the set, Ten Hag in as new main character. But this is a Man United team that has the potential to really reset and relaunch in the ways that they were primed to last season before Ronaldo came. Remember, when they got second place in the league under Ole, as Jimmy said, everyone's best friend, they did it with counterattacking football. They did it with young, pacey wingers, and Anthony Martial as their focal point, number 9. When I watched him at Sevilla, he had moments of brilliance, but it was the inconsistent finishing and really the uncertainty over his future that led to, I think, some of those issues in front of goal. Now, with Anthony Martial, he's a player that needs an arm around the shoulder, and Erik ten Hag is very good with players who need confidence and also need a kick in the you-know-what at times. And I think he could get the best out of Martial.
Are we not allowed to say "but" on this podcast?
I don't know. I said Dawson.
You can say
so,
ass. You can say behind.
Okay,
you can say
culo.
I don't know. Sometimes I've said certain things, and my phone goes off, and our producer's asking. Just kidding, Des.
Nah, you can say whatever you want. Our producer is Irish, Michael. You can say whatever you want. Trust me.
But get rid of the Cristiano Ronaldo saga, and now you have me as a believer. But with this as a distraction, I'm very worried about my club.
It's almost like Erik ten Hag should call Maxi Allegri, because this is what Ronaldo did at Juventus as well, though with a little bit more professionalism, because at least he stuck around. He was training. He was at the games. So
Jimmy, he kind of did it with Real Madrid as well when he wanted
Yeah.
to leave Juventus, saying Florentino Perez didn't have his back, and he did it when he was in Manchester United. Cristiano Ronaldo, I'm sorry to interrupt. He reminds me of the story of the scorpion and the frog, where the frog wants to cross the river and he doesn't know how to do it, and the scorpion's like, look, the scorpion wants to cross the river, and the frog says, look, I'll help you, but you're a scorpion. You might kill me. Scorpion, no, I won't. Halfway through the river, the scorpion stings the frog, and the frog's like, why are you doing this? Now we're both going to die. And the scorpion's like, because I'm a scorpion. That's Ronaldo. Ronaldo's not going to change, Jimmy. He's always been this person.
Of course he has.
Always.
Of course he has. It feels a little bit like a 5-year-old who's not getting his way at daycare, and he wants that popsicle, So I can see some repeats in his behavior. The issue that Ronaldo's running into, and his agent as well, is that there's no teams that really want him. Are you going to take on a 37-year-old who you have to build your attack around? And then are you willing to pay his wages? Yeah, you're probably going to make that money back because you can sell jerseys and whatever and all that good stuff. But is it worth that at that point? I don't think there's any coach out there that goes, yeah, I think Ronaldo could really. I don't think you want to inherit that type of headache. And it's not even like when you bring him on. It's also when he leaves, because it's just going to be a big pain in the. Not allowed to say it here apparently, but culo. So I agree with Lahoud that the team is going to be probably more efficient and more fluid without Ronaldo in it, because when Ronaldo plays, everything is still gravitating around him. He's got such presence and gravitas that the players defer to him. Of course, why wouldn't they? I mean, he's one of the best to ever do it. Definitely the best to ever do it in the Champions League. I mean, the plaudits can go on and on and on about this guy. But this is the part of your career where you're getting to the ends and people aren't looking at you the same way. You're no longer the future. You're damaged goods in some ways. And so Lahoud and I have both been there in our playing careers, where when you're on the wrong side of 30, you're not part of the plans. This is the hard
footballing world. The footballing world where Ronaldo can dictate where he goes, a sort of
it's
NBA
over.
way, that's gone.
It's over. Unless he wants to go to like Saudi Arabia or China or MLS to a certain extent. Even then I'd be like, if I was an MLS team, I mean, some of them will do it for sure if they're willing to pay, but is that going to, so from a marketing standpoint, of course, it makes sense for like almost every single team in the world, including MLS, but is it worth it on the field? And that's the big question that I think he's running into right now. And I don't think there's a lot of takers, which means that Manchester United is stuck with this problem. And that's a shame, because I think Erik ten Hag is starting to get more out of these players that I think just needed some direction. A lot of players just need that arm around the shoulder and saying, I need these 3 things from you in this game. All the other stuff is all fluff. It's all crap. I don't care about that. I just need you to hold up the ball for us. I need you to make sure that when you're holding it off and laying it off, you're changing your speed and getting into a different space, or maybe getting more vertical with Martial. I have in mind right now. Like, I need you to look to get in behind, because that's going to open up space for our guys underneath. And then you can circle back and try to find those little gaps to get the ball. I think they needed that. And they have a lot of young guys that were thirsting for that type of insight to in some ways simplify their game and not make it so complicated. Because what I think about Manchester United over the last couple seasons is how frustrated they looked when they're on the field. They don't look like they're having fun.
They don't
have
direction.
You have that element of fun
direction.
in there. But exactly. When you have a little bit of direction in Lahoud, and you've been around enough, when you're around people that know what the hell they're doing, LME, then you start to raise your game to match what they're providing to you or what they want out of you. And I think that's what Erik ten Hag's going to provide, but he's got to deal with this drama first.
I think a good Manchester United is always the DNA of a good Manchester United, even from the Fergie days and down to present, is based on wingers, not Cristiano Ronaldo's. Cristiano Ronaldo was a winger. He was brought in to be a winger, and he changed the face of their attack as a winger. And here we are with young British wingers who can change the face of Manchester United's attack with an attacking midfielder like Bruno Fernandes. But I'm going to put a wrinkle in all of this. Jimmy, you said a certain club further north, you know where I'm going, is in need of goals. They're in need of depth of the striker position.
Man. Are you sending?
I don't want
a Portuguese striker whose wages are just astronomical.
He wants Champions League, though, Mike. He wants Champions League.
United,
yeah, but he wants Champions League. He wants Champions League right now, and I don't think Newcastle wants him, right? Like the same way that Atletico Madrid fans were like putting up banners saying, "No way, Jose, do we want Ronaldo here?" Jimmy, correct me if I'm wrong, but there's no chance in the world a Newcastle fan wants this.
Well, yes. To your point, Cristiano Ronaldo wants to play in the Champions League. He wants to continue to cement his legacy in that competition. And I get it to a certain extent. I feel like playing in the Europa League is not something he's never done. So it's beneath him in a lot of different ways. But going to Newcastle obviously wouldn't satisfy that itch for the Champions League. Do I think that he could help us in a season? He probably could. And because he'd have a chip on his shoulder too, having he's definitely motivated by that. But again, then you still have to extricate yourself from him at some point. And that's always going to be kind of weird. Plus, Ronaldo, Newcastle jersey, just, I don't know, feels weird.
Forget it.
He played for you, black and white.
Listen, just him alone going to Greg's and trying to buy the Cornish pasty and listening to the Geordie accent. It's just not going to happen. He's already dealt with a Mancunian accent. It's not going to happen at all. But listen, one thing is clear. This Manchester United side needs to evolve and needs to forget about the Fergie days. That's done. It's over. This is Erik ten Hag's Manchester United. Cristiano Ronaldo, in my opinion, and I've said it for about a year, ever since he joined, he's part of the past. He's not part of the future, and something needs to be rectified.